Hi everybody, this is Barry from Knitting for Love, and today's video is going to go step by step on how to make this hat. Now I'm going to attempt to remake my hat using one skein of yarn, because that's all this will take, and also to show you step by step on how to make the fur ending around in the closure at the top. Now you can see it's a basic stockinette stitch, so beginners will be able to do this pattern. And all you will need is a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, ball of yarn I was choosing. This ought to make a cute little multicolored hat. It's got purple in it, of course that's my favorite color. And you will need a circular needle. Now these are I believe a 6-inch circular needle, and this will help you knit in the round until you're almost finished. See you later. Okay, welcome back. So I've got my 80 stitches casted on, as you can see, and what I've done is, when you get to this point, what you want to do is you want to lay it out on a table or flat surface, and you want to make sure that the braid is all the way around the inside. You do not want it twisted like that, because then your knitting will come out twisted and you're going to be wondering why I have this big infinity twist in the middle of my hat. So always make sure that all your stitches, when you're knitting in the round, your inside stitch, your edge, is all the way around the middle. Now what I've done, I like to close mine off, and I'm going to show you how I close my circle, because some people just begin knitting on that very first stitch. What I normally do is, since I've casted on 80 stitches, I'm going to cast on one more to make 81. And then what I'm going to do with that extra stitch is I'm going to slip it onto this needle, onto my left hand, and then pass over the first stitch from my left hand over that stitch, and that locks that into place. And now I continue knitting. Now for me, I like the 1x1 rib, which is knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and I'm going to start with my very first stitch, knit 1, and then I'm going to purl 1, and I'm going to do this for about 2 inches. So I will see you back again when we've reached that point. If you need a refresher on how to knit and purl, I do have videos already uploaded for that. See you in 2 inches. We are back again, and as you can see, I have finished 2 inches. Let's take my little measuring tape here. I have finished 2 inches of the ribbing, and I've done knit 1, purl 1, and it's very elastic, as you can tell, and it just snaps right back into place. And now this is the rim of your hat, and as you can tell, here's my beginning. And what you're going to do at this point is you're just going to change your pattern now. Now some people might like this pattern, and you can keep on going. You can make whatever pattern you like. I happen to like a flatter stitch, but this could be your pattern. You could rib this hat all the way up. You can do cables all the way up. You can do basket, patterns all the way up. You can do whatever pattern you want. I'm going to flat knit this in and round all the way up. So, all the way up to, this was, from my hat, my purple hat is 10 inches in length. So I have 2 inches for the rim, and that'll be 2 inches also for the decreasing towards the end of the hat. So whatever you did here, that's probably what's going to come out to be about 2 inches there. So I'm going to knit the next 6 inches, just flat knit, because this is such a beautiful yarn it's turning out to be. It's going to be very interesting how the fur is going to come out in this yarn. Yes, that's what I'm excited about. I mean, I don't know. This yarn has turned into something really wonderful. Colored yarns such as this, you never know what they're going to do in your pattern work, your designs. It just does its own thing, and it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, the transitions and the colors are wonderful for this hat. And I've got about another ball of this. I could pick some more up. But I am seriously thinking about a sweater out of this. Now that I see the color transitions, how they form, you know, you go in the store and you say, oh God, look at that yarn. It's so colorful. What is it going to turn out to be? Well, you know, you never know until you actually pick it up and start knitting it, that it actually might turn out to be a wonderful design. But yes, I am going to knit 6 inches more flat knitting, and I will return to show you how I place my markers to start decreasing the hat. So see you then. Welcome back, and as you can see, I have finished knitting 6 inches from my ribbing all the way up to the top, and now we're going to place our stitch markers so we can know where to start decreasing our work, so we can start closing up our hat. I have some stitch markers here that are like little safety pin things. Now, I bought these. Forgot where I bought them from, but they're interesting. But they allow me to place the stitch markers without removing or knitting up to and going around. So I have 80 stitches around. So if I want a 4-point to be created, I need to put a stitch marker every 20 stitches. So what you do is you take your stitch marker, you open it up, it's just like a safety pin, and these things are just as sharp as safety pins, so be careful not to stick yourself. There, I got it open. And what I'm going to do is, me personally, because this is the bottom of this is the beginning of my row, and I know this because there's the tail, I'm going to count 10 stitches in. So 10 stitches in, and I'm going to pin this on right there in between the stitches. Don't catch the stitches, because if you do, it's just, you know, you don't want to split a stitch. So I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to do, and now I'm going to count 20 stitches around and place. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So we have 20 right here. So I'm just going to put my finger there and get a stitch marker and open. They're a little tricky because they are safety pins, and put it on. Now, once you have all of your stitch markers in place, you should be able to now start your decreasing. And I decrease every row around. I'll stick my finger in there. Get another one. See if that'll sit. Yeah. Put that on, and now 20 stitches should leave me 10 stitches away from the very beginning. kind of hard to see around my nails. There. So I have all 4 stitch markers now in place. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to continue knitting up to 2 stitches before and 2 stitches after. And what I like to do is, during my decreasing, is I like to knit these 2 together, slip the stitch marker onto the needle, and slip knit these 2 stitches. So, and that will keep going all the way around until I am left with 20 stitches on my needle. I always go based on, if I divide it by 4 and it gives me 20 stitches, then I should have 20 stitches once I'm finished, so I can close off the hat and it would make a nice little point at the top. So I kind of go based on how many stitches I should have left is how many stitches I start off with before the decrease. So you're going to be decreasing 2 stitches for every row 4 times. So that's a total of 8 stitches every single row you're going to start decreasing. So I will see you back when we are left with 20 stitches. Later. Okay, so welcome back. Now, as you were doing your decreases, you probably have noticed that you can no longer, at some point, keep it on these. Now, I keep double pointed needles of the same size or close to it on hand for this purpose. Now, I have gone all the way down, decreasing. As you can tell, there's a little areas on the hat where they show the decreases in a very nice and unique way. And they create a pattern. Now what you're going to need is a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors, because we're going to cut this. I'm going to leave enough here to weave in and sew in the hat. So now the hat basically is finished, and all we got to do is pull it off the needles. And I like to kind of take my thread. I've got a stitch here that's on here that never got knitted, so I'm going to pull it through that one first, and then I'm going to slide this through all of these and pull them off onto the knitting needle. And I'm going to pull it very tight to close the stitch. Now we have to, when we get to our stitch markers, we're going to have to take them off. We don't want them in our hat. I'm just going to let that fall right there. And put my double pointed needles down. And I do work with several different types of double pointed needles. As you can tell, that kind of got wrapped around there. And we're almost finished. And just make sure that you get all the stitches, because if you miss one, that stitch is still live and will run down your work and cause a very interesting ladder effect down the side of your work. And you'll have to pick all those stitches back up and get it joined with the rest of. And as you can tell, I probably did leave a stitch marker. Now, because I'm using these little safety pin ones, I can just open it up and take it off. And always make sure you close these little guys back again, because they are very sharp. Now, to close up my hat, all I'm going to do is pull. That's it. Now the hat is closed. And what I like to do is I stick my hand in there, and as you can see, it's got a nice little pattern there. And I'm going to go over right back where the stitch was, and I'm going to pull it. And this will secure it closed. Now I'm going to go up again, but this time I'm going to go to the side. And it's like making a little X across the top of your hat. There. So now your hat is completely closed. There's no opening. And then I'm going to stick the needle in, and I'm going to show you how I, oops, hit the camera there, finish the hat from the inside. So basically, I'm inside the hat now, and now I'm going to do the same thing. Again, I'm going to make an X with this, and this secures it from underneath. There. And I'm going to take one of these stitches that is really just kind of sitting here, and I'm going to take the end and I'm going to wrap this twice. Wrap my needle twice and pull it. This creates a little knot right there, so it's not going to move. And then I'm going to weave in and out my edge a little bit. And I'm going to go under all these little pearls back and forth just for a little bit. And until I get to where I think I'm good with it. And then I'm going to secure this again with another twisted knot. And then I'm going to pull. And then I'm going to cut off. Now that won't come out at all. So now your hat is made. That's what your top of your hat will look like. Now you're going to do the same thing with the tail that you started off with in the beginning. And basically, I like to weave in and out one of the ribs on the inside. And I'm going to weave in and out just one. And this you do not actually see on the other side of the work, so don't worry, you don't see it. I'm just going underneath the two legs that make the V, which is a pearl on the other side, which is the reason why you don't see it. And then once I get all the way up to where my pattern changes, that's when I will go in and out a few of these stitches just to make sure that this doesn't come out. And that's it. That's it for this part. And then I'm going to cut that. And now you have your hat is made. Your hat is completely finished, but we still need to make the fur around the edge. And what I suggest to do is with the leftover yarn, you're going to probably cut, I'm just going to measure this, you're probably going to cut them into about 5-inch strips. So you're going to come into about 5-inch pieces, and you're going to cut a lot of these because we're going to show you how to put them in. Now, after I'm done cutting these, I will return. Back in a minute. Okay, so welcome back. Now I've cut a bunch of the same yarn in strips, and I've already started attaching them to this, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways on how to attach these. And you're going to need a brush. I have a little dog brush that I bought from the local little dollar store. It only costs $1. So you can probably find them, if you don't have a dollar store, you can probably find them on the internet or pet stores, or I mean, I wouldn't go unless you're going to use this for a long time. It's a cute investment if you're going to make fur from acrylic yarn. But basically, I'm going to show you two different methods. Now, you can use it with a crochet hook, which is easier for me, but it's not the only way. And as you can tell, I have gone, and it looks like I haven't done anything, but I've made like a hook rug. So basically, I'm going to go into the next stitch up, and I'm just going underneath those two legs, and then I'm going to fold my string in half, as so, and pull it through. And then I'm going to pull these through that. And now I'm going to pull. That's it. So basically, if you don't have a crochet hook, no biggie. It's just a little bit more complicated. If you don't, we're going to use a tapestry needle. It's just another step. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to find your next stitch. You go under the two of the top stitches, and you're just going to come in, and now you're going to go back through those same two with the needle, holding your loop on this end and taking the yarn off that needle. And then you're going to take your fingers and grab the ends and pull it through, and then tighten it. And that's it. And then once you've got enough and you feel like you want to start brushing, you can start brushing. This is not going to harm anything. You start at the ends. And you still interrupt. That was my daughter, one of my daughters, and she didn't know I was videoing, so hey, everybody say hi. Basically, I'm starting at the ends and I'm just brushing. And I'm brushing. And you can tell that it's becoming long. You know, it's becoming like hair. You know. This can be done with any wool, any fiber really. It's just you need to watch and know your fibers. If you're dealing with wool, wool might have a shorter length, so you may not get as long as the acrylic does, because the acrylic is, you know, synthetic fiber. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to brush the other side. And as you can tell, it's very nice and very soft. Me personally, because I am a spinner as well, I actually keep this. And I actually respin this back into yarn. Because it's still, you can use this. If you're into, you can use it to stuff animals with. If you're not a spinner, you can use it as fiber fill. Basically, it's not polyester, but it is acrylic, and it is very soft and plush, and you can just stuff your little toys with it. You make little animals or decorations and stuff them with the leftovers, or you can actually use this for felting. So if you have the needle felting kit, you can actually create stuff out of this using the needle felting tools. So yeah, I keep this because I don't waste anything, but this is your choice. It's up to you. But, you know, I keep it and I respin it up later. So keep adding. And as you can tell, it's nice. Keep adding. I usually add all the way up the rib, and then I go into the next rib and the next rib and the next rib, and then I see how full it looks. And then I might actually then start going into the pearls. But I do the ribs, the knit rib first. The knit part of the rib first. That way it still will have its stretch and will bounce back, but you're adding fur. So I will return once I've completed all my fur, and we can see all what this hat is going to turn out to look like with all our multiple colored strings. See you in a few minutes. Hello everyone. By this time you have finished your hat and this is what it should look like. Isn't that beautiful? All the nice colors. It's a very nice fit. Yeah, it's a great hat. Makes a great gift for people. Only took one day to do. So guys, let's start your knitting. Last minute Christmas idea or gift idea if you don't feel like. And basically you can actually buy a hat from a store, get yourself a ball of yarn, and actually add this fur trim to any hat that you did not make. You know, quick accent, quick tip. Talk to you later. Happy knitting. Bye now.